First of all, what is regular expression? So regular expression is basically it is used. It is a sequence of characters uh, which defines a search pattern. So let's say in our day-to-day life. So let's say you have a text file where you have some information, including the name, email ID, and the other details. In that, if you want to look out for all the email IDs, which all email IDs you have, so email ID has a fixed pattern, right? So for searching the email IDs in a text, that may be one example. Or if you are taking some input, so for validation purpose also we may use the regular expression. For example, when you log in into the Google, so you might have seen there that in the Google also, when you do the sign up, so they ask for the email IDs, name, mobile number, and other details, right? So there also we do the validation by taking the input from the user. We can do a level of validation using the regular expression. So if it is email ID, so it will be having at the rate symbol and then some domain name, correct? So that validation we can do using regular expression easily. So in these all situations, we will be using the regular expression. In short form, in Python, it is called regex. And regex, regular expression is basically a concept which is applicable in almost all the programming language, whether it is Python or to talk about PHP or any programming language. Everywhere this regular expression concept is available. Okay, so next we are going to discuss why we are learning it. So as I said, it can be used to validate a form or to extract a part of this string. Let's say you have some string. We'll be looking at those examples. You have a string, and if you want to extract something out of that string, then you can use the regular expression. To clean up a file, you can use the regular expression. You can use it in the database or command line as well. And for other multiple purpose and uses, we use the regular expression. Okay. So basically what we can understand from here, that regular expression can be used in many cases where if you want to do some search or some validation, then you can use the regular expression. So mainly it has two uses. One is, you can say, validation and the and finding the or searching the pattern. Okay. So we use the regular expression in all these cases. Now, how a regular expression looks like. So a general regular expression may look like what tool I'll be using. There is a regex checker which you can check online, regex checker, which you can just check online. This is regex101.com. This is the most used tool by the developer to check a regular expression, that which all pattern or which all group of characters or string it is matching. So you can write your regular expression here. You can write the test string, and then the possible matches it will show here, and also the match information it will be showing here. If you're writing any regular expression, it will be giving you the explanation. In all programming languages, this whatever we are going to learn about this regular expression, like we'll be learning about the special character and then sequence character and then the quantifier. So these all remain same in other programming languages also. So the things which we are going to discuss in this is, first of all, we'll be discussing the method, and after that we'll be coming to the sequence character, quantifiers, and the special characters. Okay. Using these three things, we will be writing our regular expression. So before coming to this, let's start with the methods or the function available in the regex module in Python. To use the regular expression in Python, we have to import RE module. Okay. So if you are using a regular expression concept in your application or in your program, you have to first import RE module. And on this RE module, we have a number of functions which we will be using it. So the most used function which we are going to use are the search method. Okay. Then we have match method. Then we have find all. Then we have split, and then we have sub. Okay. Now what this search method does, so search method is going to search for a given pattern into the given string. Okay. For example, let's say if you have a larger string and or a file where you have some content, and if you want to search something into that string and you want the first occurrence of the pattern, then you will be using the search. Match method will always look for the pattern in the beginning of the string. Find all will be looking for the pattern in the whole string and will return all the occurrences in the form of list. Split method will split the string based on the pattern you are providing, and sub method will substitute the old string with the new pattern. Okay, fine. So search method will be, I can say, it will search for the pattern in whole string, one thing, and returns the match object of first occurrence of the pattern. Okay. Now, in the case of match function, so match object, it will search for the pattern in the beginning of the string. And returns the match object of the matched pattern. Okay. Find all will be looking for the pattern in whole string and returns all the occurrences in form of string. Then we have split method, splits the string from the given pattern. And finally, we have sub method, which replaces the old pattern in the given string with new pattern. Okay, so let's see these examples first, and then we will be coming to these special characters and all. So first of all, let's look at one example of one minute. Okay, so this is the string which we have. This is the whole string. It is a multi-line string, and the regular expression I have written here is this one. In this case, every character has a special meaning. Okay, anything which you are writing inside this square bracket, it will be looking for either of the character which you mentioned inside this square bracket. Am I not audible?
Yes, you are audible.
You are audible.
Okay.
Audible.
Yeah. So anything which you write inside this square bracket, that will be, we will be matching for either of the character which you have mentioned here inside the square bracket. So when you are writing capital P or small p, so it will be looking for any match which is starting with capital P. Let me take a simple string. I'll be taking my underscore str is equal to import re, and my underscore str I'll be taking as cat, then mat, rat, hat, then can, and then cap. Okay. Now I'm going to write one regular expression reg is equal to, see, all the regular expression we prefer to write into the raw string format. And why we are writing it into the raw string format, I'll be just explaining in some time. But whenever you are writing the regular expression, it should be into the string format, and that should what I want to match, I want to check whether this string is starting with a group of letters which is starting with C, and after C it may be any alphanumeric character. Okay, so what this regular expression says, that the pattern is starting with C, which is a fixed character, and after C there should be two any alphanumeric character. Backslash W means any alphanumeric character. I am writing it two times. It means the length will be 3. One is C and two alphanumeric character. Okay. So let's say if I'm writing here C98, then this will also be accepted, and C90. Okay. Now, if I want to, if I will be applying the method here, let's say result is equal to, I'm writing here my underscore str, sorry, re dot search method. Search method. First, I have to give this, regular expression, which regular expression you are looking for, and then in which string you are looking for. Okay. And after getting it, on search and match method, you have to apply the group method. Okay. Only on the search and match method. Here you have to apply the group method. Why you have to apply the group method? Because if you will see the return type, so you can see it from here, what we have written. I have written that it returns the match object, returns match object. Here also it returns the match object. Match object, it will be having few information, and if you want the matched object, then you have to apply the group method on this match object. So I'm applying the group method, and result I'm getting is cat. Why? Because it is starting with cat. Now when I did search method, when I applied the search method on this string with this pattern, then what Python understood, that inside this search method, you have to look for this regular expression inside this string. Okay. Where it is found, it doesn't matter. Whether it is found at beginning or in the middle or in the end, it doesn't matter. But we have to find this pattern. Okay. And whatever is the first occurrence, give me the, if you will print result, then it will be giving you the match object. You can see here, it is returning you the match object. Okay. re dot match object, which is span is 0 to 3, means this string is starting from 0 index going till 3 minus 3 means 3 minus 1 2. Okay. So it is spanning from 0 to 2, and match is equal to, this is the cat. So to get this cat result, we are applying the dot group method here, and this group method will be applicable on search method as well as on the match method, both. Okay. Now let's say here I have written C alphanumeric character, correct? So let's say if I'll be writing R, then which object it will match? So the first pattern which it is going to match is rat, correct? There may be one more matching character, but it will match only the first occurrence. So it will be matching rat here, and it is giving it the rat. Okay. So search method will look for this pattern into the whole string, and it will return the first occurrence of the pattern. Whereas if the same thing you will apply here with the match method, then in that case, it will always look for this pattern in the beginning. If it is found, then it will return you the matched object. If it is not found, then it will return you the none object. So R rat is not there, or any group of character is not starting with R in the beginning. So in the case of match method, here you are going to get cat, but here you are not going to get anything. It will be none object. Okay. And remember, you cannot apply the group method on the none object. Okay. Here it is giving you the error, none type object has no attribute group method. So you cannot apply the group method on none object. So match method and search method returns none if the match is not found, or if the pattern is not found. So if it is returning none, then you don't have to apply the group method. If it is returning some object, then you have to apply the group method to get the result. Okay.
Before printing, we need to check if it is none or not.
Yes, using if else condition, you can check whether res equal to none, then print res. If it is not, then apply group method. Okay. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
So
Yes.
search and match is clear.
Can you repeat once again?
Yeah. So this search method, what search method does, I have written it earlier. What this search method is going to do, it will search for the pattern in the whole string and returns the match object of first occurrence. If you see what is the pattern I have written, I am looking for which pattern. So any pattern which is starting with R, and after R there should be two alphanumeric characters, correct? So which one is the match here? So this R80 is the match and R98 is also the match. But when you will apply search method, it will always look for the first occurrence. It will always give you the result of the first occurrence. So it is giving you rat, it will not give you R98. Okay. So here it is giving you rat. But when you will apply the match method always looks for this pattern in the beginning of this string. If it is starting with this pattern, then it will be giving you the result applying group method. If it is not found in the beginning, then it will return the none object. Clear?
Yes, yes, clear.
Actually, I mean, slash ww is alphanumeric, right? So similarly, like, I mean, can you explain that characters inside?
Yeah, we have. So I'll be coming to that. Let me first finish these methods and then I'll be coming to them. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So next we have the find all method. Let's say if I'll be applying the find all method on this same pattern, let's say I have instead of match, I'll be applying the find all method. In this case, what will happen is it will look for all the possible matches of this pattern into this string and it will return me a list. Find all method will return me a list. Okay. And on find all method, you don't have to apply any group method. Why? Because it is a list method. List object. Okay. So on list object, you don't have to apply any group method. So if you'll be running this, it is giving you all the occurrences of this pattern into this string. Clear? Fine, everyone?
Yes, Abhishek.
Okay. Now, next, let's say if you will apply this split method. So split method, you already know from this string, split method we have in this string also. Split method basically going to split this string from the given pattern. Okay. So let's say if we have this R98 somewhere in the beginning here. So it will be splitting this string based on this pattern. Wherever it will find the match, so from the beginning till here, it will be splitting this string. Then after this match, whatever is the next match, so starting from this space to this space, it will be another match. Then from this space to end, it will be another match. So it will be splitting this string into 3 parts and it will be returning a list object. So if you see here, starting from cat till this space before R, then after T space from this space, from this space to this space, this is one string which you have got here. And then from here till the end, it is another element. Okay. So split basically splits this string from the given pattern. Clear? And finally, we have this sub method. Using sub method, you can replace something. So let's say in this case, sub, first you have to give the old substring which you want to replace. Whatever with the new substring, you can write with the new, you want to replace it with the new equal to some run. Okay. So it will be replaced with this. Now here you have to write new, comma my underscore str. So if you see wherever this match was found, this regular expression match was found, there it got replaced with the new string. So it was here run, and then it was second one was here. Clear? So these all are the different methods which we are going to use in the regular expression: search, match, find all, and split and substitute method.
Is substitute all occurrences or just the first one?
All occurrences, all occurrences. Okay. Fine. Now let's have a look at this different, sequence character. So see, I have told you that there is a backslash W. Backslash W means what? Any alphanumeric character. Capital A to Z, small a to Z, or 0 to 9. Anything it will match. Okay, if you will be writing backslash W. So if you are writing backslash W in your regular expression, then it will match any alphanumeric character, whether it is alphabet or numbers. It will match everything, but it will not match special character. Okay. Similarly, we have backslash small d. Backslash small d matches for any digit from 0 to 9. It will match for any digit. So if you want to match only the digits like mobile number or something, then you can go for backslash d. Backslash capital D matches only for any non-digit. Means apart from digit, it will match alphabet, it will match space character, it will match dot, it will match everything, but it will not match a digit. So if you want to match for a non-digit character, then you can go for backslash capital D. Then you have backslash small s, which matches for white space. What all white spaces we have? Backslash T, a tab space. backslash n, a new line space, backslash r, backslash v, f. These all are the different space characters which you can match using backslash s, even a space character also. Okay. Now backslash s matches for non-white space characters. Okay. So apart from white space character, it will match everything. So if you want to match alphanumeric but not with a space, so you can go for backslash capital S. Now backslash small w, you have seen backslash capital W, any non-alphanumeric character. So non-alphanumeric means, so it will not match any alphabet, no numeric, but yes, it will match any space character, or it will match any special character or anything, but it will not match the alphanumeric character. Then we have backslash b. This is not a space. Basically, it represents the space around the words. Okay, I'll be showing you with this example what is the use of this. It is not like, you know, let's say if you have if you want to match PER somewhere. Okay, so if you will match for PER, it will find all the occurrences of PER from, like, you know, it will even match those words also which are not individual. It will be taking from in between the words also. But you don't want to match these words. You want to match only those words which are individual words. So individual words will be having spaces around it. Like here, you have this space in the beginning, you have this space at the end, right? So this kind of matches, if you want to do the match of individual words, then you keep backslash b on both the ends of any word. Okay, like here, let's say if you want to match at here. Okay, so let's say if I'll be writing at, okay, so it will be giving me the first occurrence of at, that it is coming from this, right? It is not an individual word, right? So, but if you'll be writing here backslash b, and here also if you'll be writing backslash b, then it will be looking for only those occurrences which are where at is you know, available as an individual word, not it will not take from in between the words. So if you'll be executing, you will not get anything here. Okay, fine. So
If you just put AT somewhere, it will print AT.
Yes, it will match. Yes, it will match. If you'll write AT somewhere, let's say if I'll be writing here, let me do that. If I'll be writing, this is search method, right? So I am writing AT here. Yeah, so it will match at. It will match at. Clear?
Abhishek, can you quickly like
It is still
once...
matching this one. It will match this at. Okay, so if you'll be checking this result, it will be giving you the span 20 to 22. This is the character. Okay, yes, please go ahead.
Yes, can you like quickly recap on that sub method once?
Sub method will substitute. Okay, so wherever
Yeah.
the pattern will be found, it will be substituting the new string with the old pattern.
Okay, so it will replace all the occurrences wherever it will get that match.
Yes, pattern, correct.
Okay, and it takes three parameters in that. Okay.
One is the old pattern, one is the new pattern, and one is the
fine
string.
string. Okay.
Abhishek, whether we can able to give that new as a regular expression?
Yes, you can give it as a new regular expression. No, what you will give. See, you cannot write it as a regular expression. No? So if you'll be writing backslash w, then what Python will understand that what it has to put here. You have to write a string, isn't it? How Python will understand that which alphanumeric character you want to replace, isn't it? Yeah. Correct.
Anything starting with M.
Okay, so now we have backslash a. Backslash a matches, if you will, if you want to match something only in the beginning of this string, then you can write backslash a in the beginning of the regular expression. And if you want to match something at the end of this string, then you can match backslash z at the end of the regular expression. Okay, so I'll be coming with these examples of all these sequence characters. Now let's have a look at the quantifiers. Okay, and then special character, then I'll be coming at the examples. Okay, so in the quantifiers we have plus. So this plus represents one or more repetition of the preceding regular expression. So let's say if you will write plus somewhere, if I'll be writing, let's say I'll be writing plus here, then what it will do? So it will match for any alphanumeric character which are having the length 3 or more than 3. Okay, So this plus means one or more than one repetition. It means there should be at least 3 repetition of any alphanumeric character. So first character will be C, and next 2 characters, or it may be 2 or 3 characters or 4 characters. It can be anything, but it may be alphanumeric character. Okay. So backslash W, you have written plus after backslash W. It means you are going to repeat this backslash W for at least one time or more than one time. Okay. So let's see it
So
with an
Abhishek,
example. Let me write
it is as
both
good
ways.
as writing backslash W once with a plus, right? I mean, do we have to write it 2 times? Does it mean like it has to be at least 2 such
No,
occurrences
in this
and
case,
then
okay. Yeah, in this case, what happens after C, there should be at least one
at least
alphanumeric
one
character,
numeric? Okay.
and this one is one more. Okay. So basically, the length will be not less than 3 of this string.
Okay.
Okay. It cannot be less than 3. But if you write star here, then it may be star means 0 or 1, 0 or more than 0 repetition. It means the minimum length will be 2. Okay. Because this one is 0 repetition, right?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So minimum length will be 2. Okay. And in maximum, it can be anything. And here, if you will write this question mark, it means 0 or 1 repetition. It means the minimum length can be 2, maximum length can be 3, not more than that. Okay, this is what you have here. So plus, star, and question mark. So plus 1 or more repetition, star 0 or more repetition, and this question mark 0 or 1 repetition. Okay.
Actually, which symbol we are adding, that will applicable to the last string we are mentioning while defining the that one, right?
Sorry.
We are giving place into our question mark to while mentioning the regular expression that. So that will applicable to the last string. You mean to say?
Yes, last character. Also.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And then we have M in the middle bracket. Then we have M comma N. If you will write something into some number into the middle bracket or flower bracket, so M is going to be a number. It means how many occurrences you want. Okay. So if you'll be writing, let's say C here, instead of writing this, you will be writing C. It means C, after C there should be one alphanumeric character, and there should be minimum 3 alphanumeric character after these 2 characters. Okay. It means the maximum length will be what? 3 plus 2, 5. This is the minimum and maximum length. Okay. It cannot be less than that. It cannot be more than that. Okay. And now if you will be writing here 3 to 5, it means the minimum length can be 5, maximum length will be 7 of the regular expression or the matching object. Let's see it with example. I'm going to take few code, then probably it will be clear. Okay, so let's see it here. We have this. We have this my string. In this, what we have, okay, so I didn't discuss this one. Square bracket is mandatory. This creates a group. Okay, so anything which you write inside this square bracket, it will be creating a class. Okay, so for example, let's say if I am looking for one minute, let me look at the regular expression. So let me write it here. Let's say I have this string sad, lad, then we have dad, then we have mad, then we have bad. Okay. Now what I want to match any string which is starting with S or L or D or M or B. Correct. So either of these strings should be starting. What I can do, I can write this string into this square bracket, and what all character I want to match, either it should be S, the first character, or it should be L, or it should be M, or it should be B, or it should be D. And then last 2 characters will be only AD. So it is matching all this pattern. You can see this blue color which is coming, it is matching all this pattern. So match 1 is what? Sad. Match 2 is what? Lad. Match 3 is what? Dad. Match 4 is what? Mad. And match 5 is what? Bad. So all these strings are matching here. But let's say you have CDA. Okay. So it is not matching. Why? Because these last characters are not matching, and even the first character. Here, if you'll have S, then also it is not matching because S is there into this one, into this class or into this group, but last two characters are not into the pattern. Correct? Now, if you will see here the explanation, what it is coming. So match a single character present in the list below. So any one single character will be matched from this list. Okay, so SLMBD matches a single character in the list SLMBD. Any one character it will match. Okay, and then AD matches the characters AD literally, means literal by literal it is matching here. Okay, so A is matching, D is matching, it is matching, and out of this it may match any one character, so S is matching. Then this pattern is matching. Then we have A and D, it is matching here, and SLMBD, so you have L is matching here, so this pattern is also matching. But in this case, S is matching as the first character, but D and A are not matching. That's why this pattern is not matched. Clear? Fine, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's say if I want the okay, so you understood this one, right? So I am matching with either capital P or small p. So my pattern may start from capital P or small p, and after this there will be one alphanumeric character, and there will be minimum 3 repetition of that alphanumeric character. Means, can anyone tell me what will be the length of my string? Let's say if I'll not write this, as of now you skip this, remove this, not required. Okay, so there should be either capital P or small p, one character. Then there should be one alphanumeric key. There should be minimum 3 repetition. Maximum it can be anything. I have given comma. If you see here, n comma n. If you're not going to mention this n, it can be any number. Okay. So minimum repetition of the alphanumeric character will be what? 3. Maximum can be anything. So what will be the length? So the length of the strings or pattern may be
Please 4.
4, minimum 4, maximum it can be anything. Correct? So if I'll be executing it, it is giving me all the match string which is starting with P, and after that doesn't matter, like if you have 3 or more than 3 characters, it will be matching all of them. Okay.
Abhishek,
How it is now?
whether we have any parameters we can give, like from this portion to this portion alone, we can able to do a search.
My thing, then you can do the slicing here.
Okay.
In which pattern or in which part you want to do this search.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. So now let's say if you will be writing 3, 4, then what will be the length? 4 to 5 maximum, right? Not more than that. So you can see now what we are getting. We are getting pickle and then paper. So this string is splitted, correct? But what I want only the individual string. So I'll be writing \b and \b on both the ends. So it will be taking only the individual words or the individual string. That's it. It will not be splitting this string into the result. Clear, everyone?
Can you please repeat this part?
Okay, so let me remove this \b first, and from this side and from this side also. If I'll be running this, what result you are getting? You are seeing here we are getting pickle PICKL and PEPPE from these two strings. This string is splitted. Why? Because they are matching this pattern, right? But I don't want this splitted string. I want only the individual words which are matching. Okay, so if you want the individual words to be matched, then you will be enclosing this regular expression into \b on both the ends. Then it will be taking only those strings which are matching this pattern and also are individual words. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, in this case, the end part alone, we need to provide a \b, right? To get this output.
Which one? Which one?
Now, for this output, in this expression, we just need to give at the end only the \b, right?
No, you have to give at both the ends. So better to provide both the ends, \b.
Okay.
Impose it on both the ends. Okay. Okay, guys. Because what will happen if you will not provide this \b at the end? then it is giving pickle and pepper. So it is slicing this part. Okay. So you have to check on both the end, it should be a space. So a word will be having space on both the ends, right? So you are just writing that.
Abhishek, you have written P, small p and capital P in square brackets. That means either small, it should start with either small p or capital P.
Capital P or small p, yes, correct.
Okay. And /W means any, alphanumeric character, alphabet or number or any some special characters. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And 3 and 4 indicates that P plus 3 or 4 characters.
No. P will be mandatory. After P, there should be any 3 alphanumeric character or 4 alphanumeric character.
Okay. After P, 3 or 4 alphanumeric characters. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So length will be 4 or 5 only, right?
Length will be maximum. It will be 4. Maximum it will be 5. Minimum it will be 4.
Okay.
And
that's why it is not taking pickle and peppers in the list.
Yes.
So if you make anything capital like Peter, it will also come, right?
Yes.
Can you do one small thing for me? After P, in the first Peter, can you put one more small p?
Here?
Yep. Okay, I got it. Yeah, thanks.
Length is increased.
Length increased. Yeah, and since backslashes are there, /B is there, it is not picking that one.
Yes, it is not picking that.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so these all are the different quantifiers. Next, we have the special character. Special character, if you want to escape something, then you can use /. Dot matches any character except new line. If you'll be having new line into your string, it will not match that new line character, but apart from new line, it will match anything, whether it is alphabet, number, digit, anything. Special character, it will match everything, but it will never match a new line character. Then we have this. If you will be writing this caret in the beginning, see, for matching something into the beginning, you have 3 things. One is /A, one is this caret sign, and one is match method. To match something at the end, you have 2 things. One is /G and one is this dollar sign. Okay, so any one of them you can use. Okay, so if you are using caret sign, it will be, so you have to write this caret in the beginning of the regular expression to match this pattern only in the beginning of this string. So if I'll be writing this caret here, and if I'll be removing it, it will match only Peter. Why? Because I have told that to match this only into the beginning. If I'll be writing the dollar sign at the end here, let's say if I'm writing dollar at the end, so it will be matching only at the end of this string. If it is not found, then it will be giving you the error. It is not found. Let me do one thing. Let me remove this one. I'm doing 3 comma, means it may be more than 4, or length of the pattern may be 4 or more than 4. So now it will be matching paper stitches. Okay, this is because of space character. Now it is matching papers. Okay, now if I wanted to match a dot, then I could have given you dot here. Let me write a dot now. Let me see. No. Yes, this one will match. Okay, but it is matching only at the end of the string. Okay, now next, let's say you have let's say instead of this dollar and this caret sign, if you'll be writing /A, then also it will be matching only in the beginning of this string. So I'm writing /A and it will match only in the beginning. Similarly, instead of dollar, I may write Z, /Z. It will be also matching only at the end of this string. Okay, fine.
No, which character it will be finding at the start of the string? Will it be finding P?
Yeah, it will start with this only. Okay, this whole string will be matched from the end, and if you are matching in the beginning, then it will be starting with this. /E just says that I'm looking for this pattern in the beginning of this string. This pattern. This A and B are not coming into the pattern. Okay, these are just saying that we are looking for this pattern in the beginning because of this backslash A, and backslash B says that we are looking for the individual words. Okay.
Okay.
Abhishek, this 3 comma, you left that like that. So what does it signify? More than
It
3.
says that yes, it may be 3 or more than 3.
Okay, okay. At
Repetition of the previous.
Okay, any length.
Regulation. Yes, any length.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Next we have this. I have shown you earlier. So whatever you will write here, it will match everything inside this. But if you will write one caret sign inside this, so except this, it will match everything. I will show you one example. Just give me a second. Yeah. Let's say if I'm trying to match, something from A to Z. So if you want to write, what do you say, a range, so you'll be writing A to Z. So if you'll read here, match a single character present in the list below, capital A to capital Z. It will match anything from this alphabet. Okay. The second character will be from small a to small z, anything. The third character will be 0 to 9, anything. Okay. So basically what you are doing, your string length will be C, where the first character will be from capital A to capital Z, anything. Second character will be small a to small z, anything, and third character will be 0 to 9. Okay. Now let's write one few strings here. Let me write okay, I'm taking this. I'll not be taking this 0 to 9. Instead of that, 2 characters I want, and I will be taking after this any alphanumeric character, and then that will be more than one or at least one repetition. Okay, so capital A to Z, the first character, small a to G, the second character, and then one or more repetition. If you see why it is matching this one, this is the first match, this is the second match, lorem ipsum. It is not matching simply dummy or the other. Why it is not matching? Why?
First character.
Because first character is small. Okay. In every case, first character, it is matching these two. Why it is matching these two? Because of this star. Star says that 0 or more repetition, correct? So this is optional. Backslash W is optional. The minimum length will be 2. So it is matching it here. Okay. Fine. Now after this, if I'll be keeping plus, then it will be not matching those characters which are having the length as 2. So it are not matching here. Clear? Fine.
No,
So
Abhishek.
now if you are writing anything inside this square bracket, it is matching. If you will write caret sign here, it will match everything except this. Okay, everything except this. So now if you see in the beginning, it is starting with LOREM, it is not matching. And then apart from that, the first character is starting with M, which is obviously not a capital letter. And after that, this is a space. So this is also, second character is also not coming from here, right? So this is matching, and till the end it may be any alphanumeric character, so it is matching here. Okay.
Sorry, mistake. I lost like what that caret signify. Sorry, I lost.
This caret signifies that, okay, so anything which you mention inside this, it will not be matching this thing. If you'll write caret in the square bracket, it will not match anything which you are writing inside the square bracket. If you'll not write, then it will match everything which you write inside this square bracket. But if you write this caret in the beginning, it will not match anything which you write here inside this.
It's an exclusion kind of thing, excluding.
Yes, exclusion. Yes, it will exclude this thing. Okay, so you can read it here. A to Z, a single character in the range between A and Z, not this one, matches a single character not present in the list below, A to Z. Okay, so if anything is coming from A to Z, it will not match. Similarly, this A to Z, so matches a single character not present in the list below. Okay, so the first character which is matching. So according to this pattern, what we are matching here. So this pattern says that first character may not be the capital letter. It is matching here. And second says that it may not be the small character. It may be anything. So space is matching here, and then rest of the things is the repetition of the alphanumeric character. It may be anything. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now next we have this bracket. So this creates a group. Okay. Now whatever regular expression you write inside the parenthesis, it will capture all the results mentioned inside this. For example, I'm going to take one example for this small bracket. That basically creates a group. So let's see this example. Okay, so we are looking for this whole group together. Okay, if you are writing anything inside this, so in this square bracket, it is optional, right? Either capital P or small p. But when you write in something inside the small bracket, you will be looking for all these things together. If it is matching, then fine. If it is not matching, then it will not give you the result. Here now, the difference between plus writing outside this bracket and writing inside the bracket is completely different. If you are writing pet plus, what does it mean? So it will match this whole string, either one repetition or more than one repetition of this whole string together. So there is one repetition, it will be giving you pet. Okay, fine. Let's say if you will have pet and pet again. Okay, so it is going to give you pet and pet. So it is matching this whole pattern together at least for one or more than one repetition. So pet and pet is coming. Clear? So here you can apply the group method on this. Okay. Now next one is pet plus. If you are writing, then this is for preceding regular expression. What is that? T. T will be repeated multiple times. So you are getting P, E, T, 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 T multiple times. Okay. And then again, if you see it here, the result you are getting as pet, pet, pet. Okay, so if you write something inside this small bracket, that is basically is going to match this whole thing together. Okay, clear? Now the last one is pipe. We say it is pipe. Yes.
Yeah, this one T is repeated multiple times. So, but in the source string, do we have T? Oh, okay, P E T T. Sorry, I got it. Yeah.
Yes. Last one we have the pipe. So pipe says that either match this R regular expression or match this S regular expression. So either of this two regular expression will be matched from the given pattern. Okay. So now I'm going to take few examples. Let me know what regular expression you are going to write for that. Okay. Okay. So what will be the regular expression for this output? Can we write directly re dot find all, because we need a list, right? Then what do we want? First the regular expression you want, and then the string you want, correct? Tell me the regular expression.
P followed by
capital P.
Starting from P and then what? Slash W.
Slash W.
Plus.
Plus.
P should
one
be
or more
square
repetitions.
bracket, right?
Let's see that. So if you'll be executing this, you are getting all this result. You may write it in this square bracket, you may not. So if you'll be writing it in this square bracket, that is also, then also you'll be getting the same result. Okay. So when you write it, it means the first character should be P, okay? And if you have multiple characters to check, let's say if you wanted to check P or capital P, or let's say G also, then you will write this. So either first character will be P or capital P or G, okay?
Here the second word is GIPER, right? But it is
Yes, GIPER. You are not getting the result into GPR, we are getting it here, right? So I have written G, now it will be giving you GIPER also, okay? But if you will write only P, in that case, you are going to get only those words which are starting with P.
okay.
Plus indicates length anything, right? More
Yeah,
than.
it may be one or more than one repetition of the preceding regex. So W backslash W is the preceding regex, right? So it will be one or more than one repetition of the preceding regex.
Instead of plus, what happens if you put star?
Then zero repetition. So there will be no problem
Zero or
writing
more.
it into this. So it will be giving you the same result, pickle and papers. Yes, same result to be given.
Should ideally be 0 or more. Okay, yeah, it gives same.
Does it always gives result in list form?
Sorry, which one?
The find all function. It always gives result in list form.
Yeah, it will always be giving you in the list format only. So now the problem here was we are getting this PER from Jaipur, PER, correct? I don't want that PER, I want only the individual words. Then same thing,
Dash B.
B.
that should be
on both.
just preceded by backslash B. So here you'll be having backslash B, and at the end also you'll be having backslash B. Correct? This is what the result we are getting. Okay. Okay, so these all are in the assignment. So let's try this one, and then we'll be going to iterators and generators. Let's see it here. So tell me, I want Anil, Akhil, Anant, and Ankur. What I should write here? RE dot find all regular expression.
Starting with AN.
Starting with A,
Starting with small a.
then in square bracket NN
A,
K,
N, K, correct?
Yeah.
Then backslash W and plus one or more repetition, right? Anil, Akhil, Anant, and Ankur. Clear? Okay, so I'll upload this. This is quite simple one, and I'll be giving you a few more assignment to work on the regular expression, which I'll be uploading you for practice session in the Google Drive. Okay, you can go ahead and practice from there also. First, try this one. This assignment will be uploaded, and try this thing. Okay. Next, let's come to the iterator and generator.
Abhishek, can you give examples of that space characters?
Space characters.
Yes. One or two example will be fine.
Let me see. I think it was. See what I'm matching. There is a backslash n character into your string. Okay. And there is an MO. Okay. So what will be the match here? What does dot does? Means what dot does? Dot.
Except new line, everything.
Except new line, everything it will match, right? So I'm applying this group method on this and I'm getting this last character. Okay. Now this is having new line, this is having new line. It didn't match because everything is matching. This is also matching and this is also matching, but it is not giving me these two results. It is giving me ABC and MNO. Why? Because ABC is matched, backslash W plus is matched, and for dot it is matched N. Okay, N is a character literal, so it is matching this. Now let's say the same example if I'll be taking for backslash S. Now instead of dot, I will be matching a backslash S character, so I'll be writing backslash S. Okay, so which one it will be giving me? Search method.
ABC
The
backslash.
first occurrence, right?
Yes.
So one with the backslash and with the first character. If I'll be writing here, let's say MNO, it is going to give me XYZ, the first occurrence of this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
There.
Hmm.
So now we are coming to the iterators and the generators.
Abhishek, can you go back to that online regex? So in this example, I did not understand like why it is M, alphabet before space.
Okay. So what will be the length of your string? It may be minimum, it should be 3, right? And maximum, it can be anything, correct? Right?
Yeah.
First character should not be a capital letter. So this will not match, right?
Yeah, right.
Correct. So it could have started with O. But if it is starting with O, then next character should not be a small case letter, isn't it? Correct?
Okay, yes.
So it is not taking O or E, but if it is taking M, so it is matching this first character because it is not a capital letter. And if after this there is a space, so it is not small case letter, it is also matching, right? So these two things are matching. And then after that, there may be any alphanumeric character of one or more repetition. So wherever, till where it is matching till here. It is not matching this space, okay? Why? Because the next match will start from S. Fine?
Oh, okay. So if we would have given like backslash B at both the end, then maybe.
Yeah. So you are saying that to match the individual words. So let's see it here. If we'll be writing backslash B, then also it is giving you this. Okay.
Why? Because before M there is no space. So how it is the first like individual word?
No, see, generally, okay, so let me remove this, what it is giving. It's giving this backslash B. Yeah. So either it will be taking this backslash B or at the end or in the beginning. Okay. See what happens generally. What is your word? If you will be seeing this pattern, this is the match. Okay. First one is this space, which is not the capital letter. Then second one is not the small case letter and it is starting from here, right? So it is matching this one. Clear?
No, not really. Like backslash B at both the end means there should be space, right?
No. It should not be a space. It should be the individual word. Backslash B at both the end means that it should be an individual word. Don't take it as a space. Okay. If you will consider it as a space, it will be creating a problem. It is not a space. It should be an individual word. That's it. Okay. Space may come because see, let's say, forget about this one. If I'll be writing this and this, then it is matching lorem, but you don't have any space before this, right? Because your first word doesn't start with a space, but still it is considering it. Why? Because it is an individual word, and Python knows, or anyone knows, it is a common sense that your first word always doesn't start with a space, always doesn't start with a space, right? Even your last word also, it is not mandatory that it will be ending with a space. So it doesn't mean that backslash b means space. It is saying that it is the end of the word and it is the starting of the word.
But how is it identifying like it's an individual word? Because if we write like it was earlier, that sign except A to Z and small a to Z, then it even after putting backslash B at both the end, it is taking alphabet from a different word, right?
No, it was taking from, see here. It is taking from a space character, not from the word. See here, it is taking from a space character, no? It is not taking from a different word.
If you go to industries standard, so in the second line, so
yes, so according to Python text, it is not the word. So after this inverted comma, there is a this. It has considered this as the end. Okay, industry. Now it is taking this as the word. Now you have to, okay, you from your perspective you are checking, so yes, because you know you are human being and you know that industries is together, but Python or system doesn't understand this is together, right? So there is a break for it. For Python there is a break here in this word.
So that's what I'm trying to understand, like how in such cases how will it identify?
In such cases, you have to look at the regular expression. Okay, what this regular expression is saying. The first letter should be what? It should not be a capital letter. It is matching. Second letter should not be a small case letter. It is matching. It is not a it is a space character, so it is matching. And after that, it can be any length of alphanumeric character, that is also matching. And then there should be one space, or you can say one end of the word. So like it should not be taking from other words. So it is not taking from any other word. Okay. Here also you can see a gallery it is taking. So again it is matching. This whole thing is matching this pattern. That's why it has taken.
Yeah, but but it is not like taking individual words. Like from what I understood, like slash b at both the ends would take individual words. But in this case, it's not taking, right?
No, in this case it is not taking. So if you want the individual word, then remove this. Okay, and write a different pattern for it. Then it will be taking whatever is your requirement. You want, A to Z in the beginning. Write here A to Z, and after A to Z you don't want any alphanumeric character. Then you can consider that. So again here also let me remove this. So it is taking industries separate, standard separate now. So Python does not consider this whole thing as a single word. Okay, because for this it will be a break in the word. This inverted comma and everything, this will be a different character for the Python or for any programming language. Okay, it will not consider this whole thing as a single word. Fine. Similarly with the comma also, if you are writing comma, so that is a break in the word, right? Correct.
Yeah, okay. I was mainly trying to understand like slash b at both the ends does not necessarily mean that.
No, don't. It's not necessarily a space character at both the end.
What if we only write a slash b at the end, not at the start?
Not at the start, then also it is going to affect your result.
Okay.
In few cases, it will be affecting your result.
I'm not yet clear what slash b actually means.
Okay, so try it with few examples. Okay, still if you are not getting, then we will see. Okay, so you have to practice it with few example. Backslash B
Abhishek, can we,
simple means,
yeah, can we mention like a break in the word or something like that?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's a break, it's not a space. I told that's what I think I have written in the beginning, but I have deleted it. Not a space around the words. It should be, individual words, I can say. Okay. But still, if you are saying individual words, so what is the meaning of the individual words to you is not same for the system also. Okay, you cannot say, okay, so a system does not keep, it will not understand this whole thing as a single word. You may understand this is a single word, but system will not understand it as a single word. For system, there will be a break in this word here.
Yeah, but in the earlier scenario, like the and something was individual words, still taking both of them in the previous
Where? In this?
earlier result when they were like except capital A to Z and except small a to Z, then it was taking except a capital A to capital Z and except capital small a. Yeah. There was one case like it was a gallery in the third line. It is still taking. So both are individual words, no comma, and
yes.
there is no. So
you forget about this one. See these two things, whether it is matching for two patterns, A and space, whether it is matching for two things.
I got that that expression. Yeah. The only thing I did not get was like individual words /B is individual words. So I was trying to understand that part. Other than that, I understand that does not mean it's an individual word, right? A gallery.
Yeah, it's correct. So yeah, as per you, it is yes, as per us, it is not an individual word. Individual word, but again, so we have to match it with the regular expression also. Yes, when I am saying individual word, I don't know what I should say here exactly, but if you can understand what I should say, that cannot be individual words. Assert position at a word boundary, you can say. Okay, word boundary. So /W this dollar. Okay. Word boundary. See, when you are saying here capital, it should not match capital. First, try to match this pattern into the whole string. Okay, you will find a number of matching patterns. And on that, you check which all are having the word boundary. Word boundary will be what? Word boundary generally in the beginning you will not be having these spaces, but in this case you will be having either this space or you will be either this pattern will match. So for example, in this case, a gallery, first you are matching this pattern and then it is also a word boundary on both the ends. So you are having the word boundary, you have set the word boundary /B on both the ends. Now come here. In this case also it is matching this pattern and then it is also having the word boundary at the end.
I got it now. Word boundary, I think that
that will be
proper word, I think.
Abhishek,
Can you please repeat the word boundary thing?
A word boundary is so what we know about the word boundary. Word boundary is like, if a sentence is starting, so initially, like if I'll say a space around the word, that will not be proper explanation. But word boundary will it may explain properly. So in the beginning, it may not be a space, but it is a word boundary, right? Means the words in the beginning, the beginning of a sentence may start with a space, may not start with a space, but it is a single word, right? And if you are combining these two things, it is creating a word boundary here. This is starting from here and ending it here. According to this pattern, it is matching, and then it is matching this word boundary also. Okay, this is matching at the end. In this case also, it is matching at the end and in the beginning both. Okay.
Abhishek, one question. So consider this example of the word industries. So many times it will happen that we want to search in the words, but that those words can contain some special characters. So generally how we give in the end is /w plus. So a word with any number of characters, 1 or n number of characters. So if our requirement is that from 1 to n number of characters, including some special characters if they are coming in between. So is there some way we can...
Including special character. Including special character, we can use this one. Non-alphanumeric character.
Okay,
\capital W you can use.
but then if we give \capital W, then it will only search for the special characters, right? Like what
Only for
my
special
requirement is where we are giving /W. So the words like industries or suppose anything which has hyphen in between. Suppose.
Yeah, if you want to include hyphen, you can write hyphen directly into your regular expression. Okay, let's say if you want this apostrophe to be included, okay, so you can write apostrophe to be in the beginning. Okay, then it will match only this one.
No, but then it is going to the next word, right? My word industry will not qualify for this check.
You want only industry?
I think she's saying like at the end, we write there small w plus. So it will get as alphanumeric words only. But what if there is condition with alphanumeric plus special characters at the end? She wants both the cases to be qualified as a...
Like, is there any way we can access the word industries together? Like here we have a special character as a single quote. What if we have a hyphen there, like between Y and S?
Let me do one thing.
We can give \s.
Column F. And then I'll be writing electron, not percentile R. Okay. So I'll be writing \W plus and then \capital W and \W. A to Z. Okay. For that, this length of this string should be same. So how many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So A to Z. Or we can write A to Z, the repetition of 8. Okay. And then I'll be having \W, which is including this, and then we'll be having \W. Is using this. I don't want these space characters.
Abhishek, if we do not have this clear idea, like it can be in 8 words only, so there directly we can give \small w, right? So that
\small w, then you have to write here.
Yeah, \small w after A to Z.
We have it.
And before \w, we have to give A to Z also, right? Small A to Z. or
No,
any.
why we have to give A to Z now?
So backslash
See,
W.
I'm matching this industries and standards, okay? And out of this, any 8 characters and then percentile R. So basically, you want the special character to be included. Let me first include that, okay? And then we'll be coming to that. So backslash W. Here I will be writing backslash W.
Can we go backslash capital S? Hello.
It is giving this. But I don't want this, right? Or if I'll be writing space character, I don't want this. I'll be writing star, but I want backslash capital W. What else we can do here?
Or else we can put W.
S is the white space, and this is any non-alphanumeric character. This much I think we can do. Okay. So one more thing we can do.
And Abhishek, this is okay. Instead of giving 8 comma, like hard coding the length as 8, we can directly use plus there, right? So any length of word.
Plus, if you will be using, then the length will not be fixed here again. So there will be a problem with that. So one or more repetition, it is coming with the lesser length also. So I want at least 8 or more than 8. So I'll be taking this. Now I have got this. I want to remove typesetting, popularized, and all these things. So
Yeah, Abhishek, I think this is good. That's all we wanted, right? All the words, and if there is some special character, that should be included as well.
yeah, that is included, but we can remove typesetting, essentially containing and publishing. So this can be removed, typesetting. We can ignore this, like we can keep it in a list and then we can remove them from that list. That one possible way of operating this. We can do that. So we can get all these things into the list, and then the one which are not with the special character or individual word, we can remove them from the list.
Okay. Okay, Abhishek.
Should not be. So can we do one thing? T, this is T, 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 C, T, E. It should not start with T. No, this will become complex. This is fine. You can get it into a list and then from there you can remove them from the list. Okay, because again, if you'll be adding something that will complex the operation. Okay. Next, what we have. Okay. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the iterables and then the iterators. Okay. Okay. So as of now, when we have gone to the loops, so we have seen iterator object. Okay. So what is an iterable? So any object which has implemented double underscore iter method, double underscore iter, double underscore this method, that is an iterable. Okay. For example, let's say if you want to see which all object has implemented it, so you can go ahead and write dir of list or string or anything, you will find the iter method here. Iter method. On list, string, tuple, anything you will find the iter, this iter method. Even on the dictionary and on the set also you will find this iter method. And they all are iterables. Why? Because you can iterate over them. You can run the loop over them. Okay. So even on the dictionary also, for example, if you'll be writing print dir of a dictionary, so that is also has implemented internally the iter method. And that's why it is an iterable. So iterable is something over which you can run the loop. And this iter method, because of this iter method, whenever you run the loop internally, it creates an iterator object. So for I in, when you are writing LFC, it calls this iter method and it creates one iterator object. Let's say you have 10, 20, 30. It creates an iterator object, and the task of that iterator object in Python, this iterator object implements two methods. One is the next method and one is the iter method. Okay. Iter method is generating the iter object, and the next method calls the next element from this iterable object. Okay. So whenever you will be running the loop internally, this iterator object will be calling the next method and it will be printing one element. So it will be picking one element from this and then it will be printing it. So for example, let's say if you have LST is equal to 10, 20, 30. Okay. And if you will create one iterator object here for this, so give me a second, let me see. Let me create a iterator object on this list. So my underscore iterator is equal to iter, and I'll be passing the list. Yes. So this is the iter function which we are applying on the list object, and this returns the iterator object. Let me see the type of my underscore iter. It is an iterator object. Okay. Now this iterator object internally implements the next method. So if I'll be calling next of my underscore iter, it will be giving me the first value. Then again, if I'll be calling it, then it will be giving me the next value 20. And again, if I'll be calling it, it will be giving me the third value, which is 30. And at the end, when I'll try to call it again, it will be giving me the stop iteration error. Okay, fine. So whenever you run the loop internally, first one iterator object is created with this iter method. And then with the next method, every element is called. The loop is designed like that. Okay. This next method is called, and one by one, we will be picking the element at the end. When this list or the sequence is exhausted, when we don't have any further element, so it raises the stop iteration error like it is raising here. But since the for loop is designed in such a way that it handles the stop iteration error, so we don't get any error, we get just the result 10, 20, and 30. Okay. So iterator object is what? So iterator object is the object which is created on the list, and internally it implements the next method. And what is an iterable? So any method, any object which implements the iter method double underscore iter double underscore method, that is called the iterable object, or on which we can run the loop directly. Okay, clear everyone?
Yeah, Abhishek, can we check like has next? Like if it has next, we will iterate, else we will not.
Which one has next? Has next, I think it was there into the Python, 2. I don't know. I don't remember whether it is having the has next. We are having in the Python 3. Has next method in Python 3. The Python iterator. That will be next A. Okay, so basically you are saying that you will be checking has next method on this iterator object to check whether it is having the next element or not, right?
Yes, yes. Because I will go to next only if some element is there.
Okay. Just a second. Print has next of my underscore iter. Has next is not defined. Then it should be my underscore iter dot has next. No.
Abhishek, in that same Stack Overflow page, it was written that has next method does not exist.
Sorry?
In the Stack Overflow page that you open, no, the first thing that they mentioned was that this method does not exist. If you scroll up.
Next method is there. Has next method, I don't know.
If you scroll up, they have mentioned that it is not there. Yes, this one.
And there is no such method. The end of iteration is delivered by this person. Yes. Correct. We don't have the. I don't think it is in there in the Python 3. It was there in the Python 2.x.
Okay.
Abhishek, when we define ITR of something and assign to other variable, the pointer is at the starting of the index, right? Or
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
We are defining ITR of LST and assigning to my underscore ITR.
Yes, my underscore ITR, correct.
So the pointer is at the starting of 10 at the time while we are assigning our pointer and not it to enter into list. The starting pointer I'm asking.
A starting pointer will always be starting from 10 only.
So if starting from 10, then immediately we have printed next of my underscore ITR, right? Then it has to be immediately go to 20, right? Then it's printing 10 by.
No. This iter object will be pointing to 10, and when you will print next of my ITR, it will be printing 10. And then next time when you will be implementing, so it will be accessing one by one. See, this iter object is not, okay, sorry, my mistake. Iter object is not pointing to 10. Iter object returns one iterator object on this list. Okay. To fetch the first element, you have to implement this next method. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Abhishek.
Abhishek, for the iteration for every next element, we have to write next every time. Is there any shortcut to write next only one time and we can iterate over this list?
You can run the loop.
Okay. So what is the difference? What is the what is the difference between what is the benefit of using this iter method?
No, this is just a concept. This is just a concept in Python. We are not going to use that because this iterable generator is also an iterable. Okay. So it has also internally, it has implemented this double underscore iter double underscore method.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So we are learning for that. It's not like we are going to use this next method and all for our day-to-day life. So that's
okay.
Just a concept.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Clear? So iterable is basically through which you can iterate or you can run the loop, okay, or which implements double underscore iter double underscore method, one thing. Second thing, iterator is the object which is returned from the iterable object after calling the iter function on that, okay, which implements internally next method, and calling the next method on that iterator object will be giving you the next element into the sequence or the iterable object. Clear? Now this same is implemented into the loops also. For loop basically you can say. Next we have the generator object. Generator object is also an iterable. You have seen few of the generator objects like map and filter. They all are the generator object. Okay, they returns the generator object. Not only this, we have learned the loop comprehension. List comprehension. List comprehension returns you the list. Okay, it returns a list, but tuple comprehension returns a generator object. Returns a generator object. Generator object is also an iterable. So if you will check, let's say you have G is equal to I for I in range 5. And if you will be checking print type of G, it will be a generator type. Okay. And if you will be checking the directory dir of G, then you'll see that it has implemented the iter method. So this is also an iterable. But the advantage in the generator and the other sequence type is what? That let's say if you are generating, so this generator is also used to generate a sequence of any value. You can return any value from this generator sequence. But the advantage of using a list compared to a generator is generator takes less amount of memory. For example, let's say if you are creating a generator G is equal to I for I in range, I'm taking a larger set of values. Okay. And when you will be doing the same thing with the list comprehension, instead of here you'll be writing square bracket, here also square bracket, and let's import sys print sys dot get size of G. Here also you do the same thing. Execute this. This is taking only 120 byte of memory. Every time it will be taking only 120 byte of memory generator object, whereas in this case it will be taking huge amount of memory. Remove this. Remove this one also, and stop this. Run this again.
Import because you stopped it.
This is the big value.
In the second one,
it is taking this much amount of memory. Okay, only for this value, which is way smaller than this value. Okay. Fine. Now, if you want to fetch the value from the generator, you can run the loop here for I in G. Okay, and you may print I directly here. Okay, it will keep on printing the values. Okay, the advantage in that is this: when you generate a number, let's say when you are printing I, so at that time I is printing pointing to 0. But when it picks the next element, which is 1, so next time it will, like, you know, the reference to 0 is lost. So it will be automatically garbage collected. Then next time when I will be pointing to 2, so again the reference to 1 is lost. Okay. So again, it will be automatically garbage collected. Then again, when I is pointing to 3, so the reference of 2 will be lost. And then again, it, you know, it will be automatically garbage collected and so on. Okay. So this is memory efficient. The generator is more memory efficient than when you compare this with the normal list comprehension. You are generating the numbers here. What happens in the case of list? All these numbers are sitting into the memory and they are occupying the memory. Okay, so after some time you may run out of the memory, whereas in this case you will never run out of the memory. So always it will be doing the garbage collection, and doesn't matter how big number, how small number you take, every time it will be taking only 120 bytes of memory only. Clear? Fine, everyone. Now, this is the generator sequence of the numbers. What if I want to create a generator sequence of the different values? Because list can have different values, right? So my generator can also have a different value. Yes. In that case, you have to use the function definition syntax to define the generator. So I'm defining my underscore generator here. Okay. And then this is a function. If you want to make a generator, then you have to use the yield keyword. Okay, and whatever value you want to yield, you can yield. You can write multiple yield statements. I am yielding 10.20 yield 10 plus 20j, then yield Python, then yield a list 10, 20, 30. Okay, now let me create a generator object. G is equal to my underscore gen. Okay, now let's print the type of G. This is going to give me the generator object. Is running here.
What yield does here, Abhishek?
Sorry?
What yield does?
Yield is similar to the return statement, which yields one value at a time. I'll be coming to that. Yield is the only statement which makes a function a generator object. Okay. Fine. The difference between return statement and yield statement is you can have only one return statement in your program, but you may have multiple yield statement in a generator. And it will yield one value at a time, means it will return one value at a time. So when you are going to call the loop on this generator object, so when you are writing for I in G, okay, and then when you are printing I, so when you are writing this I in G, it will go inside this loop and it will start executing the code. When it will encounter the yield statement first time, it will yield the value, and that value will be returned to I. So I is now pointing to 10, and then you will be printing I, which is 10. Then again it will go back to the loop, and then from here it will go back to the generator. It left here, it will remember where I left, last yield statement. From there it will go and execute the next statement or next yield statement. Then again here also you are yielding 10.20, so this will be returned to I. So I will be now pointing to 10.20. Clear? Then it is printing I, 10.20 will be printed. Then again when you will be going into the loop, so you'll be going back to the my underscore gen function or generator. Where you left off at line number 3. So from here it will execute the next line, which is line number 4. So 10 plus 20j will be returned from here, and I will be pointing to 10 plus 20j, and so on. So it will be printing these values one by one. Clear? And if you will check the size of this, again same, import sys.get size of G, it will be only 120 bytes. Whereas if you will store all these things into a list, let's say you have LST is equal to 10, 10.20, 10 plus 20j, Python. Okay, and then we have 10, 20, and 30. Now let's see the size print. Sys.get size of LST. Execute this. It is taking 104. But what if your number of returned value are exceeding. For example, you have a tuple also 10, 20, 30. You will have a dictionary also 1 colon 100, 2 colon 200, 3 colon 300. Then you have another value. Let's say what we can have.
Set problem.
Set, yes. 10, 20, 30. Okay. Let's see this. It is taking 128. In this case, if you yield these values again, yield, so is equal to I'm yielding a tuple. Still, it will be 120 byte of memory only.
So Abhishek, is it like fixed, like generators will always take 120 bytes of data?
Yes, it will take only 120 byte of memory every time. It is an object, no? It is a generator object. Okay, so it is fixed that it will only take 120 byte of memory only. Not more than that. Okay. So memory wise, it is efficient. Okay. Yes. Here you have
And
to save
also,
all these
Abhishek,
things. Yes.
in the function, like my generator function that you have created, so there, like other functions, can we do some operations and then yield results, or is it only for
Yeah, you can.
generating
Yes,
purpose?
yes. No. You can do any other operation. First, that will be executed, and then it will execute the else statement. So let's say you may take two number, and then you can do the summation. Okay, C is equal to A plus B, and you can yield C also. Yield C. Okay, so first this will be executed only once, but not every time. Okay, so once yield statement will start, it will start executing yield one by one. The number of times loop will run.
Okay.
Clear, guys?
Abhishek, can you summarize iterator and generators?
So where, yeah, one question, Abhishek. So where do we actually use it? Suppose if we have to return a like a sequence, so we have to return a generator instead of iterator. Suppose
not iterator, iterable list object. Okay, so if you have, let's say if you have a requirement of creating a sequence of few numbers, okay, so instead of creating a list comprehension using tuple comprehension, which will return you a generator object. Okay, and it will take less amount of memory, and you will be able to create those numbers also into that sequence, right? Correct. But if you are having the user defined value, some different value every time you want to return, then use this generator, this way of defining the generator. But when you are generating a sequence, it is recommended to use the generator concept for using the sequence in your application or in your program. Okay.
So this return would be like saved in, suppose I want to save these return in something. So that would be a tuple. I could not save it in list like.
No, you can save it in a list. You can append it in a list also. Here you can do one list append operation. That's not an issue. Okay. Clear. So now we are coming to the generator, iterator. So what is then? First we have started with the iterable. What is an iterable? So iterable is any object which is implementing internally iter method, then it will be called an iterable. And also if you can run the loop over it, it will be an iterable. Now every iterable will return one iterator object when you will pass that iterable into the iter method. That iterator object will be having next method. Applying next method on that iterator object will be returning you the next element from the sequence or the iterable object one by one. Okay. So all the iterable object implements this next method and iter method internally when you run the for loop. Okay. Now this same iterable concept is applied into the generator also. Generator is a kind of iterable which internally implements the iter method. Okay. And you can run the loop also over an iterable object, generator object. Generator object can be created in two ways, one using tuple comprehension and one using function definition. Tuple comprehension returns you the generator object, and it always generator always takes the only 120 bytes of memory. Whereas in the case of list comprehension, based on the data or the number you are generating, it may take more and more amount of memory. So it is always recommended to use the generator object when you are creating a sequence of numbers or any sequence. You go ahead with the generator. Now, one way of creating the generator using tuple comprehension. The other way of creating the generator is using function definition. You can use def keyword to define the generator, and you have to use yield keyword, not return keyword. Yield keyword works similar to the return. It returns the value, but you may have multiple yield statements because you have to return multiple, or you have to generate multiple values in a sequence. Okay. Now, the speciality of yield statement is it remembers its state where it left off. So whenever you are running the loop, it will be going inside this. It will be executing this statement once, and then from yield statement, it will start yielding the value. So first value it has yielded is C. It will yield 30. Then it will go back and it will print 30. Then again, when you will be coming into the loop, it will come back to the generator. It remembers that I left at line number 5. So next line I have to execute is line number 6. It will yield 10 here. So it will yield 10 again, and then it will print 10, and then it will go back to the loop again. And from here, it will go back to the generator. So it remembers I left at line number 6. Now I have to execute line number 7, which is 10.20. So 10.20 will be yielded, and so on. So from here, this one by one, all the values will be yielded, and you'll be getting the generator object at the end. Okay.
Abhishek, can we have any expressions after yield statement? Like
yes,
after the first
here.
yield?
Okay,
no,
so at the end, right?
No, after yield C.
Yield C, here you are saying.
Yeah.
Let me print A here, okay? So execute this. It is giving you Python, whatever it is. A, it was giving 10. Yes, it is giving 10. You can have.
Question is like, can we put an expression like
yeah, anything. You can write D is equal to C plus B. Okay, print D here. You can do that, not an issue.
Okay.
Yield A plus B, will it work?
Yield A plus B, yes, it will work. Why not? It will not work. It will work.
And Abhishek, generally in normal sequence, we can access the elements using indexing and slicing. So I think, do we have that functionality in generators?
Generator, no, it does not. See, generator, let's say if you will take range is also a generator, okay? If you're writing range 10, it creates a generator object internally. Here you cannot do the, slicing,
Okay.
I think. So
Okay, yeah.
0:5, okay? So yeah, it is working. Yes, on the generator also you can work. So let's see if we can do here. Good question. So 0:3. No, generator object is not. No, it is not allowed. On generator object you cannot do.
Okay.
Okay? Not subscriptable. Okay. Anything else?
One more thing, Abhishek. In the heading, when you started generators, you have written map and filter.
Yes.
So
Map, filter, zip, they all are the generator object. Okay. Internally they create a generator. So like, they are the iterable, but they don't show you the value up front. You have to apply the list function on this G also. Here also, if you will just comment this code and write here, print list of G. This one also is going to list of G. This is also going to give you this value. Okay. So either you can run the loop or you can apply the list function on the generator object. It will be giving you these values. Okay. Same thing happens with the filter, map, and reduce. So they enumerate function. Okay. Then you have this function, enumerate function. Few more functions are there. They all are internally working like a generator object.